Hi, it's Linda Lee, and I have some eco dye that I've done this weekend that I want to show you. I had some stuff that was in a roasting pan in the oven, some that was on the stovetop, and then also I did some avocado paper, just spraying with my little finger painting technique that I do. But let me show you what I've got. I've got some fabrics. We'll look at those in a couple of moments. There's two different batches that are here. I'm going to show you this with the fabrics, and I'll explain that in a moment. This is my stovetop stuff. There wasn't a lot. I didn't really have everything that I really needed, but I wasn't going to let that stop me from doing some eco dye because, believe it or not, I'm sold out. I've had a couple of big sales that kind of cleaned me out, and a couple of little sales that took the stuff that I had stashed for myself, so I had to make some. Okay, now this is the stuff that was in my pot, and I did it on the stovetop in the aluminum kettle. It was only coffee that was in the water, so no vinegar, no other, little onion skins or anything like that in this one. This is just coffee in the aluminum pot. There were rusty bits in the bottom and some, pennies. But what I did is at the end of, the coffee pot, the remainder coffee that we didn't get drunk, I poured it in the kettle. So Monday's coffee, Tuesday's coffee, Wednesday's coffee, every day throughout the week. At the end of the week, I ended up having a full kettle, and being in the aluminum, it turned it really super, super dark. So you can kind of see that the coloring was really, really grungy. I didn't have all the papers that I really wanted for this batch, but I didn't want to not do any eco dyeing. I had all of the plants available to me that I traditionally use. The coleus, I have fern, there's some hibiscus leaves in here. The arbicola, you can kind of see that right here. I had some ivy left over from the last time, so you can see more of the fern here. This is one of the smaller envelopes that kind of creates the little frame. Here's some of the ivy, the underside, that gives off that really great yellow with this particular coffee, and the fern, of course. A big arbicola, more ivy, coleus leaf. Did I do this side? Yes. So, big coleus, arbicola. Isn't it awesome though? It's so super grungy. It's really, really gorgeous. It's not often that I get something quite this dark. And it's even got, a lot of gray and black. Look at this one with that envelope. And the fern and the ivy. More ivy. Now the ivy, I didn't harvest more ivy. I've been trying not to. This is left over from the last time I did an eco dye. What I do with my unused vegetation, I break it down into, the individual leaves from the stems, and I put it into a Ziploc and I put it in the fridge. And it actually lasted a long time. It was a little over a week. So nothing goes to waste. Here is another coleus. This right here is its seed pod. Ivy leaves. The fern, the arbicola, an envelope. You can even see the little flap right there at the little edge. So cool. And then this is the last page. So at least I have one more set. And the envelopes came out really super cool. It's a different kind of paper than, you know, what I used. That was all 70-pound drawing paper. These envelopes are just random envelopes that I had. This one I think is a little bit different paper than the others, but all of them stayed glued. I haven't made any envelopes yet, so that they're automatically not going to glue. Pretty cool though, aren't they? This particular paper picked up a little bit more green than the actual prints did. The little arbicola. Oh, that's beautiful. The grungier the better. I have some ladies that's all they really want is the dark stuff. Then I have some that like the ones that have the pink, and so there's something out there for everybody. Look how grungy that one is. Isn't that beautiful with the ferns? I still have yet to kind of establish a favorite, because I just love them all. This one I think was on the very end. I didn't have, I ran out of plants, I should say, so I didn't have anything on the back of that one at all. And then I have a couple of big envelopes. So, actually it looks like 3. This, again, a totally different paper, but look how dark these are. Aren't they cool? This one took some beading. You can see it's a little bit torn. But I got people that request even the beat up ones. I guess they think it looks more authentic, you know, as opposed to being maybe a print. Look at that one. And then the underside. So that's everything that was in the pot on the top of my stove. Let me show you. I also had some going in the roasting pan. Now the roasting pan batch was also coffee. However, it didn't sit in the aluminum pot. So this is just from regular coffee. Now in the roasting pan, I had, I'll show you the order. I had this piece on the bottom. So this was on the very bottom of my pan. In fact, you can see the imprint of the brand of the roasting pot, or pan I should say. And then the leaves. And then I put a piece of drawing paper. And then I put a watercolor paper. So these are watercolor papers that I'm going to show you, and then regular drawing paper. So let me show you the watercolor papers first. So it was kind of like every other layer. And different papers take to the water differently, or in the plants. And again, this was just coffee. I did not have any white vinegar. So it was just the plants sprayed with a little bit of alum water, because these are heavy. These are 140 pound, and these are frame worthy. They're beautiful how some of them came, and some of them, one side is much prettier than the other. So it's just a matter of, you know, the orientation and which side you like better. But these are nice and heavy, and they would look gorgeous matted. So having a white background and then a frame. But this would look really cool surface matted instead of being matted with a bevel. That way you can kind of see it, the natural curve and rumple of the paper. It's just a more artistic way of displaying it. But some people like the cleaner edges, even though it's kind of a grungy print. You know, on a framed piece of art, they might actually like it. I think it looks good this way, the orientation. I did have one other plant that I don't typically use in this roasting pan. It was long with narrow leaves. I don't know what kind of plant it was. It was just available and I cut it. This one here is another one. I think all of these are matte worthy, I should say. Even this side is pretty cool, even though it doesn't have the detail that this side does. Everything is double-sided. There's something on both sides. It's just a matter of, you know, like I said, which side you would prefer. So I'll probably sell these in sets, you know, as artwork as opposed to, you know, something to be put in a journal. Now, it could easily be put in a journal. You can fold this paper. This measurement is, let me see. I don't have my ruler. I have to use my yardstick. This is 8 by 10. So 8 by 10. My papers are usually about 8 by 12. So these are a little smaller. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my God. These two go really well together. They would look fantastic on a wall together. And then the other side. It shows the coleus. This is a lot closer to, you know, the color in the coleus. And then there's this one. I'm not sure how bright my lighting is. And see, this is watercolor, so this almost looks like a watercolor painting. But wouldn't this be gorgeous underneath some like India ink drawing? That would be beautiful as a background. So even if you are an artist, you can use this as a canvas, you know, for your own artwork on top. And one more that size. Nope, two more that size. Sorry. And the back side. So you can still see all the shadows of the plants and the leaves, even though they're not as pronounced. And then this one. This one was on the top. So in the roasting pan, yeah, there's no artwork on that one. This was the top one with no artwork on it. And then what I do is I went to Lowe's, or was it Home Depot, one of the two, and I bought, let me show you real quick. I went and got some pieces of tile. So this is pretty heavy. So I just had this on top and, well, and then like this on top. So it leaned. That's why there's this ridge right here. So there was the weight, and then nothing, and then more weight again. So that's what kind of made that print. But you can even see how it's stained. So coffee does definitely stain a granite tile. You got to be careful. But it works really well. You don't really need a ton of weight, but you want something to press so you get the impressions. So now these are the papers that were kind of in between. Now this particular paper I want to say is 50-pound weight. So this is lighter than the other paper that was in the pot. But again, just coffee with alum. No vinegar, no onion skins, no beet juice, no turmeric, nothing. Just the coffee. And these are also double-sided. This was the seed pod from a coleus. I had two papers that were kind of stuck together. This is their back side, which again, I think they're gorgeous just as they are. Isn't that pretty? I'm kind of trying to pay attention to the frame. But this is the other side, which is even prettier. And this one. So you don't need all kinds of fancy stuff to get, you know, a really cool result. This is just coffee in a roasting pan, layered with papers and plants. Now I am going to hopefully get some plants shipped to me from New York. I don't know exactly when, but I'm looking forward to trying other vegetation. And I didn't use any of the ivy in this. This is just the hibiscus and the coleus and a couple of the arbicolas. I didn't use any ivy in this part. It was all in the pot because I only had a little bit. And that spiky plant, whatever it was. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at this. And a couple more pieces. Look at the yellow in the background. It's just so cool how there's background and foreground. And then I was probably running out of the bigger leaves for this piece. But there's some shadow prints, the stem and a leaf. Here's a leaf. So that's all the papers. So I've kind of got 3 different papers: the 70-pound weight, the 50-pound weight, and the 140-pound weight. That's what this stuff all is. I had some fabrics that I put in the pot on the stovetop. That's what this is here. I didn't put a lot of leaves in this long piece of fabric. This is a cotton sheet. It's 100% cotton. It was a twin bed sheet that I tore in pieces. So these are the width of a twin sheet. Okay. And I have these 2 strip pieces that can be used like tie closures or whatever. This one and this one. So they're nice and grungy, nice and gray. And then I had this larger piece. So this piece here is again the full width of a twin sheet. And I ran out of my recycled cardboard that I normally sandwich on the top and bottom of anything that I eco dye. So what I did is I have some books that I have gutted and cut apart. So like I took one of these, you know, a hardcover book, and I just cut the spine out of it, and I use this hard cardboard. So in doing that and having that in the water, it yielded this. So what it did is it came apart in layers and it peeled. So this is all from a top and bottom book cover. This is the, here, let me show you that, and then I'll show you the bigger piece of fabric. So this here, oh, is like this inside piece right here. So this piece of paper, that's what this is. All right. And then this piece of paper, I've got two of them. Where's the other one that's like this one? Oh, maybe it didn't survive. Nope, this is it. So this is the two pieces that were right here. These pieces of paper here. So you can kind of see where it was glued to the spine. And then these two pieces of paper, they took a little bit of a beating, but aren't they cool? These two pieces of paper are what's covering the outside of the book cover, because you can see where it was folded around the cover. These two here. This one came completely off. It was too far out of tact to leave, so I just pulled it all the way off. And then inside the book were these pieces of paper here that made the thickness of the cover, just layers of cardboard. And then two more layers of cardboard. Isn't that cool? It was like a bonus. See, the outside cover, this piece right here, was green on this book cover. So it stained the paper green a little bit. Not all the way through, but on part of it. So I got an extra bonus, 4 pieces of cardboard and 4 different papers. Isn't that cool? Unexpected surprise. What I like to call is a happy accident. Alright, so that's the book cover. This here, you can see this is where the book cover was, is the fabric that was inside. Now, I didn't want it to be flat, dyed, so I did put the stems from like the arbicola and a few random leaves in the, in the fabric, so that we would get some variations in color. Here a little bit of the leaf showed, but if I open this up, you can kind of see the variations that it allowed the liquid to kind of seep in and saturate at a different level. So here's the other side of the other end, and then it's folded over, so even on the inside. So I wanted it wide enough that it could be, you know, cut into several book covers, but I made it so that it's wide enough either way. I think this here is, let's see, so 9 inches. So if your book is 8 inches, it gives you, you know, a 1/2 inch either way, or if you're stitching it, however, everybody's got their own techniques and ways of doing it. But just to look at more of the fabric, but it's all kind of gray. And then the other side, see here you can kind of see where one of the leaf pieces were for the arbicola. Very, very little green. I'm not sure if that's showing up at all. I'm just showing you more of the opposite side because of the fold. And then the other end that I did kind of show you. So yeah, that was a very good day on the Eco Dye front. Actually, there's still more to show you. So I've got those fabrics that were in the aluminum pot with the week-old coffee that sat and turned colors. And then the roasting pan that had coffee in it. I didn't have a lot of fabrics. I didn't even really think about fabric until after. But I have 2 strips that are coffee stained that are also the width of the twin bed sheet. So they're the same kind of coordinating color. And then about 15 yards of lace went into the same roasting pan. So I have all of that. And then this here is avocado water paper. So when I do my avocado water paper, let's see how I can move this so this will show. Let me try and do it this way. Let me get a piece of white paper to go underneath it so we don't have as many shadows. Let me try. Kitty, what are you doing? I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video, Kitty. You can't sit in the middle. Well, I guess you're not in the middle. You're just on the side. That's okay, right? But I want to put a piece of paper down. I'm just tearing this from a large presentation pad. Good boy. Yeah, go play. So we just got a nice flat white background. And hopefully this will, oh boy, this will show a little better. So this is paper that it's about 50 sheets that I did with my little spray technique. I have a spray bottle that, oh, I thought it was in here. I don't have it. A spray bottle, a larger one. And I just spray it and then I just kind of let it be and let it dry. And then I turn it over and I spray it. And some of them I just kind of swish the liquid around. And that's what I call my finger painting technique. So I've showed you that a couple of times. But I like that it's not fully saturated with color. So a little bit of the white kind of shows through. I think I'm on the lightest part of my table. But I did this yesterday while the other stuff was all on the stove, on the pot. Isn't that pretty though? So avocado water. I still have some water, so I might actually do some more of this at some point. But there's no real imprints here. It's just avocado paper. So with that, I'm just going to say goodbye. Thanks for hanging out to the bitter end. It was a lot to show you this time. I don't normally have quite that much, and that much that's so different. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching and subscribing and liking. I totally appreciate all of you. It's been fun hanging out with you a little bit today. And hopefully I'll have some more to show you fairly soon. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.